Yomi Badejo Sawyer asked me to deliver this lecture, I had no reservation at all about accepting. I just wanted to identify with people who were doing what citizens do. It is for me both an honor and also a duty. So, what is reputation? It is the beliefs or the opinions that are generally held about something, someone, a country, a city, a family, a brand. But let us just hold that thought a minute. And in our public conversations, what we say, how we say them, how has that helped to shape our reputation? I hear this statement from time to time that we are not a nation, for example. And some people quote one great statesman who said, we are this and that. And when you go back and read the context in which he was speaking, that wasn't what he meant. Because we are many nations, we are not one nation. I want to repeat that. We are many nations, not one. But those many nations have been forged into a country. And there's a distinction between nation and country. And so as we set on this journey, we must begin to have clarity about what we are putting forward under the name and banner of Nigeria as a reputation. Because that will be our ultimate branding message put forward by ourselves. But I think we should hold that thought and understand that we need to go back. Nation, country, they're different. We have many nations in one country, and we're not the only one. We're not the only one. So, let me share two quick stories. I apologize, I will be personal about this reputation thing. So, two quick stories. 1976, I was 13, and I was the oldest of a triumvirate of siblings. My father had planned a holiday trip abroad. It was a 1-month holiday. So, the next person to me was 11, and the next 9. So I was daddy and mommy on that. We left Nigeria on our company. People were waiting for us in our hotel in Italy, in Rome. And from there we went to many other countries. A month-long holiday ended in Paris, thought so many places. But two stories just to take and to perhaps demonstrate my own experience of the nation whose citizen, and the country rather, whose citizen I am. So in Rome, we wanted to visit the Colosseum, and we had set out from the hotel and we took the street map. Of course, inexperienced as we had never left the country before. We didn't read the map properly. After walking for about an hour, we saw that we hadn't reached the place. And so we sought help. So we walked into an ice cream parlor, and in a smattering of French and fluent English, we got our problem across. And the man looked at me and said, you turned this map upside down. Instead of going east, you were going west, so you have to go back. So we thanked him, we bought ice cream, paid for the ice cream, and made to leave. And he said, by the way, where are you from? And we said, no, he said, you're from Africa. We said, yes. Where in Africa? We said, Nigeria. He said, great country, rich country, powerful country. And he said, wait, take your money back. This is the first time I'm speaking of that experience. It left me with a lot of pride. So off we went, Colosseum and back. The next experience came when we got to London. So we went to a corner shop, went to buy orange juice. And as we got in there, the shopkeeper, chatty, friendly, where are you from? We said we were from Nigeria. He said, please wait. He left us in the shop, went upstairs, excited, brought his wife and his children down, and asked if we would please take photographs with them. So he asked another shopper to please help him take that photograph with the then Polaroid camera. It was the rave of the moment in the 70s. And I just felt, really, this is a fantastic country. So those were the things that shaped my own impressions about my country as a teenager. And I just want to point out that whilst all of that was happening, that was the perception about us. That was the belief about us. It was not without challenges at home. Those who are old enough will remember that we had people whose main occupation at the time was violent crimes in the name of armed robbery, just as we are dealing with violent crimes today. But our reputation was not affected or besmirched by it in the way that we confront today. And if you remember famously, those people were then caught and publicly done what? Shot after conviction. We also had at that time the famous foreign exchange illicit trade called RNG. Those people gave us, they took a few inches away from our brand, but they did not diminish our brand significantly because we were responding. And the point I wish to make from that is that there is no country without its challenges. And how we embrace those challenges is what defines us, not the challenges themselves. If you go into our store of music, whether it is Celeste Inuku, it is Osita Osadebe, or it is Sonia Ade, and many of them, the legends, the highlights, all of these challenges and the need for turnaround is embedded in the rich law. And those are some of the tools that we just need to recreate again. Because the tools are there. Are we resolved to put them to use? And that is why, again, I commend the convening of this meeting. Now let me try and move a little more quickly, because I think, again, I will continue to repeat, my work has been done for me. So, from that childhood experience, I tell people, I'm not just a proud Nigerian, I'm an arrogant one. I'm arrogant about my country. And so I tell people that I have not received one day's education outside this country. All my education was here. So, proudly made in Nigeria. Wow. Arrogantly too. So everything, every age that we think that we have lost, we can get back if we decide. And a platform like this, a gathering like this, is the best place if there ever was one to start. So, at that time, let me make this point too. When we graduated from the University of Benin, again, Yomi Badejo, and I were at the University of Benin together. Not a few of our colleagues left Nigeria. The wave of the movement at that time in the 80s was checking out. I'm tired of this country. I'm checking out. Aha, we connect. Now it's Japa. 35 years after. So the more things change, the more they seem to remain the same. But you know what has happened? Almost all of them have come back. Aha. So, why is this? This is the land of opportunities. This is the land of unending possibilities. This is where the biggest rags to riches stories have happened. This is where people of the most humble beginnings have risen to the top of leadership.
We know.
Look at Nigeria's history. Which son of a king, which son of an Oba, which son of a billionaire ever made it to a presidency? Think about it. But do we like what we see? We spend so much time valorizing other people's dreams, and we leave this profound, continuing, and unfolding experience of opportunities behind because we don't price it and we don't brand it and we don't tell it enough. And so the next generation wants a way instead of wanting to stay here. Yes, there are a few people amongst us who choose a path that gives us a cause for concern, but they do not define us. They do not reflect what right thinking and what well-meaning people believe about us. You know, late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, in his days, anytime he had to address an audience, he used to say that he was coming to address only right thinking and well-meaning people. Because he knew that not everybody would agree with him. But that when a poll was taken, they would see that right thinking and well-meaning people will be with him. And so, in opposing this conversation forward, let us focus on right thinking and well-meaning people. Not everybody will agree with us. So in 2024, after I left office, I took a vacation to a North African country, and I went into the market with my wife. And immediately they discerned that I was Nigerian. They came, some of them, and said, "How is Yekini?" I said, "Yekini has passed." "How is Amokachi?" "How is Deji Okocha?" Those were the people that right thinking and well-meaning people are concerned about. Not those ones who give us a bad name. They're not concerned about it. So, and this is the image that we have created for ourselves with our talent and our sporting prowess, which the president has referred to again in his address. And what are we doing with it? Because talent at this time, in this million, is being rewarded more than at any time in the world. So what used to be a hobby, what used to be the function and undertaking of quote and unquote dropouts, is now the biggest professions in the world, paying unthinkable income and giving leverage and access to the highest places in the world. You want to see presidents, governors, and all of that wanting to associate themselves now with sports personalities, musicians, and all of that. And they are determining politics, whether we like it or not. And we have this in abundance. And we are not leveraging it sufficiently, in my view, to impact the opinion of right thinking and well-meaning people. So, I go to a few thoughts about what I think we should focus on. And the first one is ownership. Let us own the idea of Nigeria. Because I don't think we have owned it enough. So I hear some of our colleagues and our compatriots who, by virtue of the 1999 Constitution, have dual citizenship. I have only one. And when they talk to me, they say, "Your country," I say, "Stop. our country. Your problem is our problem. And there must be that common ownership on every platform. And I'm here, glad Dr. John Momo is here, and all of the public communication management. On any live program, if you hear that, they put a stop to it and ask the person to take it back. It is our country. It's our problem. And if we have common ownership, we will solve it. We've spoken about our resilience. Nothing we have decided to combat has ever defeated us as a people. But do we have common ownership? And I will quickly leave the matter there. Ownership. I will go to positivity, which is the next one. And this is a function of choice of words. And I think that, I don't know how it happened, but we have become extremely negative in our conversation and in our choice of words. So we have to become positively intentional now as we speak about ourselves, as we speak about our communities, as we speak about our country. So, as I was preparing this address, a few thoughts flooded back. So I remember at one time, I think you probably watched, when in one country lawmakers were invaded by a mob. And some of the greatest politicians the world knows were scampering for their life. So some of my mentees came to me and said, but you're a politician and these people, how can this happen? This is not possible, it can't happen. I said, this is real life. It's not movie. All of those movies that you have watched where they nearly capture their president, then they will turn something around, then they will beat everybody, and then clap. This is real life. They are facing a mob. But what is the connection to our reputation? It's about the positivity of those people. They have used all their tools to create a notion of invincibility around themselves. And so, those movies have gone across the world, and we have translated them into reality. Albeit there were many takes, many repeats, many stunts. But in real life, when a mob is coming, no law enforcement agency can cope. That's real life. And if you ask the specialists in law enforcement, they will even tell you that if you are overpowered, retreat. But these people have used the power of positivity to create an impression. And what have we done with a similar power? We have created an impression in people's minds using the same power to think that you can get rich by using human score. Because people now believe it. And that is the power of reputation management, brand shaping, brand management. Very powerful tool. And I keep asking people, where have you ever seen any currency that was printed with blood? It's ink they use, and it's machine. So why are you carrying human skull? But it is a belief that we have allowed to grow without consciousness. But we can turn it around. And I'm happy that the Honorable Minister is here, because one of the parastatals that manages that industry, I believe, is under his remit. The message must change. So, I think I leave positivity. But before I do so, there's also positivity of the word, what we say. So, and I think for us as a country, that's perhaps the most pivotal place. What do we say about ourselves? A few days ago, I watched on TV as one Nigerian who qualifies as a statesman says words to this effect on TV. This one, I'm paraphrasing it. Gender representation is a disgrace in Nigeria. End of statement. Now, I don't mean to put him down. That's not my intention, my friend. But it's an example of a subconscious error that many of us, including I, have made about not being aware of the power of what we say and how we say it. So, I am no expert myself, but my public service experience has taught me a few things. I've had people teach me how to sit down, how to dress, what colors to wear, and so we don't leave those things to chance. So today I will confess, I was supposed to grant an interview to a foreign TV